Good afternoon, family. Thanks for checking out today's video. If you're new here, my name is Jonathan, and I created this channel as a way to record my progress as I work towards my goal of losing 300 pounds in 3 years. If you'd like to join the family, hit that subscribe button. Also, make sure you click on the bell icon so you get alerted when I go live or post new videos. If you'd like to participate in on the discussion like Janet and Anthony here, you can join me most weekdays on YouTube where I go live around 4 p.m. Central Time. Or outside of YouTube, you could consider joining the Discord I created. There's a link for that down in the description below. Also down in the description below is a link to a Pinterest board. That is a great place for you guys to get an idea of the food and meals that we have been enjoying on our diet and the food that I've been eating that has helped me get to my current weight. Let's see. So today is day 761 of my 3-year challenge to lose 300 pounds. What would you like me to convert 300 my gosh. Somehow I turned Siri on my phone because I was fiddling with it in my hands here. So I've used a combination of extended water fasting and a whole food, plant-based, salt, oil, sugar-free diet to lose over 225 pounds so far. If anybody has any non-scale victories, I'd love to hear your non-scale victories. If you have any on-scale victories, I'd love to hear how those are, what you have for them as well. If you're struggling with your diet, what's causing your struggles? If you're succeeding with your diet, what's causing your success? And I feel like a very important part of any diet is what are the steps that you are putting in place that will make staying on your diet easier. A few more people saying hello. Tennis and yoga girl, Linda, Janet, Carrie's checking in. Hope everybody's having a great day. Let me go ahead and switch over to the main here. It has been a busy day. It's always a busy day. Every day is a busy day. But let me see what we have for food since yesterday. So I mentioned yesterday before we left that we were going to be having the plant-based Gabriel's 3-2-1 burgers. And that is what we had for dinner last night. I took some photos here if I can get them together. And wow, it's way behind. You know, this thing has been really slow the past week or two. It was way behind on the weigh-in yesterday. And then like this is like light years behind. Let me see. Oh, it's froze on that now. Let me see that I'm on. Oh, let me change this. This might help. Sorry, guys. Trying to get it working. See if it starts working. It thinks it wants to work, but it doesn't. There we go. Plant-based Gabriel's 3-2-1 burgers. There's actually 2 burgers on this plate. One of them's covered up by the top of the lettuce or the lettuce wrap I put on the top. So that is the 3-2-1 burgers. And then Carrie made kind of like a ketchup barbecue-y sauce that she sweetened with dates. And it was very sweet. It was really good sauce that was on there. And so I had a couple of those. I took a few photos here. Let me see. So I kind of took a photo here. This is way behind. So let's see if it catches up. Anthony says, lettuce. You know, I always, hated lettuce. I would always rip off the extra lettuce or just take lettuce off of a dish. And something that I have come to appreciate since starting this diet is how much more I enjoy like a romaine lettuce or a lettuce, just something that I would never have thought to eat just plain with nothing on it. I eat, with no dressings or anything like that if they needed to. So, anyways, Janet says that it makes a great bun. Yeah, it did make a great bun. The sauce made it a little bit slippery. I kind of, like I said, I took a photo here. I don't know if I got a great angle of it. I had folded the lettuce wrap back over the top of the sandwich to help keep it from sliding out of the lettuce that I had it wrapped in. There's an action shot there of me getting ready to take a bite. And I had a lot of those last night. I think in total I had 5 plant-based Gabriel burgers last night. And Carrie felt a little guilty because there wasn't much for veggies. It was mostly starch. I think they're made from oats and some other things. So she did make some broccoli that I didn't end up eating. I just had a bunch of these plant-based Gabriel burgers, and the sauce definitely made it easier to have that many of them here. Janet says she's over at the True North Clinic doing a fast right now, and she says today was so much better. Today is so much better than yesterday. It was like going through a caffeine withdrawal. Must have been detoxing. The doc says the second and third day of the fast are typically tough. I think that for most people I've heard, or most fasts, that it is tough that second or third day. I'm sure there's lots of physiological and psychological things that are happening at that point that make it more difficult, but I'm glad you are feeling better, and hopefully you're able to get through the rest of your time there without any complications. I did not take a photo of breakfast this morning, but for breakfast this morning, I had our standard oatmeal. Then for lunch, I had a few russet potatoes and some broccoli. This really photo does not do the amount of potato I had here justice. I mean, I had already eaten a little bit out of the bowl before I took the photo because I forget sometimes. But this bowl is absolutely massive. So it is a good quantity of potatoes there. I also had the something I didn't mention yesterday that I was going to mention, that I have been doing a lot of, like, I feel like it's been grazing on potatoes. We have the Instapot here, we have it with potatoes. And before I ate my lunch, I had 2 potatoes that I just grabbed and ate like an apple. And that's something that I have really enjoyed with the diet recently. Oh, that's not the right picture. Was that I am eating pretty steadily. I'm getting a large volume of food in, which is great. Janet says here at the True North Clinic, you're down to 111. The doc says you can go to 107. So for the first time in your life, you're hoping that the weight loss slows down. Yes, you were telling us that yesterday, that they were gonna make you stop if you get to 107. So hopefully you can keep the weight up. Do they regulate the amount of water that you're drinking? Just make sure you're filling yourself full of fluid, I guess, to help keep from losing the weight. Carrie says here that she ate a giant potato on the way home from work today. It is nice as they fend off the temptation. So you have a 4 to 6 glass day minimum. Is there a maximum that they allow? Or is it, yeah. But you've been drinking 10 12-ounce cups. So you've had, that's a lot. Or, or, yeah, 10 12 ounces. I think that's what you're saying there. So you've been drinking a lot. So that's great. Yes. The potatoes definitely help fend off the temptations. Were you able to avoid going to a coffee shop on the way home because you had a potato? I mean, the amount of money it would save me. or us, if we weren't buying all the coffee. Um, they say you can drink too much, that messes up the electrolytes. Okay, yeah, I could see that where it would flush your system if you had too much liquid and cause you issues because you did that. One of the things I did want to mention is that today is Carrie's 2-year anniversary of eating a whole food plant-based diet today. And it's awesome that she's been able to do this for 2 years. She has lost a good amount of weight so far and really changed the future of her life and our life by switching to this lifestyle. So I think it's awesome that Carrie's been doing it for 2 years. We're she's 2 years into being an accidental vegan, I joked about today, but eating this way, eating a whole food plant-based diet, it's been 2 years since she's had animal products, 2 years since she's had cheese, 2 years since she's had eggs, and she's still surviving and she's thriving. She's doing far better now than she was 2 years ago. So that's awesome that she's been able to make it for 2 years. And I am very happy to have her on my team here. So it's been great. Um, let's see. Tammy here says that Janet, you just saw your post on the Casey podcasters. You're in Kitsap County too. Okay, that's awesome. Um, the Carrie said yes, she had no coffee. She was able to resist the coffee, so we'll have to get more of those pocket potatoes. Yes, if Hardy started selling pocket potatoes, they could make a fortune, Anthony. We got to bring back the pocket potatoes. Uh and so um the Wendy's does sell a baked potato, and that is a place I think that a lot of people do end up going if they are in a bind and they eat this way and they need something. They'll go to Wendy's and get a baked potato. I will never forgive Wendy's for screwing up my first baked potato that I ordered after ending my fast and refeeding, and I was very hungry one day, and I went and I ordered a baked potato from Wendy's, and they cut the potato, they like cut it in the middle or opened it up, and when they did that, there was crap on the spoon or the knife that they used to cut it, and it got on the potato, and I was so frustrated because I was hungry. I was really hungry because that's why I went to Wendy's. It was like a last resort kind of thing, and then I couldn't eat part of it, or I felt like, yeah, I was frustrated because they couldn't take a plain baked potato and just hand it to me. They had to screw it up. Um, so, um, but yeah, the that was we actually had that conversation today with some coworkers at the office today. They were asking us something must have came up about eating out, and they were asking us if it's even possible for us to eat out. Like, can you eat out, or are you able to eat out? And um, we were just discussing how it is more difficult to eat out this way. I don't know that it's any more difficult to eat out this way than maybe, than some of the other diets. There are some diets that it is much easier to eat out. But when we go and we travel and we eat out, we do things differently than we used to. In the past, when we would go and eat out, we would get whatever we wanted, obviously, because we were eating. But then after we switched to this way of eating, we went to restaurants a couple times, and we realized that taking the regular stuff like the salads and removing the chicken from them, or removing the cheese and the dressings, you end up paying $13 for a bowl of salad, and so it is a pain to remove things, and then you end up paying for, because when they take the chicken off that dish, they don't take the price of the chicken off the dish. Uh, and so you're paying for food you didn't even eat. And so what we found at restaurants is that we have more success if we eat off of the sides menu. If we look at the baked potatoes and the steamed vegetables and the side items, And it seems to be cheaper to do that too, because a lot of companies or restaurants, I think, seem to charge maybe less for the sides because they're making plenty of money on the entrees. And the other kind of thing that came up with the coworkers was the traveling. And, how do you even go into a gas station as a vegan and find food? And it's nearly impossible to go into a gas station as somebody who eats a whole food plant-based diet and find items. There are lots of vegan items in grocery stores. There's potato chips and there's candies that are vegan. There's sodas that are vegan. But if you eat a plant-based diet like we eat, going to a grocery or going to a convenience store is almost a waste of time. And so what we have found is that when we're traveling, that um we've actually done better just going to grocery stores and finding a grocery store along the way versus going to a gas station, because gas stations aren't generally going to have something for us here. Few people checking in here. Cindy says hi. Rick says hi. Let's see here. Yeah. Few people saying hi. Let's see. Stephanie, hello everybody. Hello to you, Stephanie. Um, Ron says, I know I gravitate to restaurants that are build your own dish oriented. Okay. That would work well too, and that's something where, like, for our kids, we go to uh Chipotle, where we can kind of build our own burrito. Another place that we go to with our kids is Your Pie. If you don't know what Your Pie is, it's like a Subway version of a pizza place, or a pizza place set up like a Subway, where you get your dough, they put sauce on it, they put your cheese on it, they put your items on it, and then they cook it in a brick oven. And so, yeah, with our kids, we end up going to maybe a few more of those type places where you build your own, you pay for what you're building. So that makes sense. Um, See, Plants Only Muncher here says raw collard greens make a good wrap or bun. You cut out the white stem and use 2 long pieces as wraps. They need to be fresh and firm and not wilted. Never heat them up, and they're great with hummus. Yes, um, the bun that I was using on a couple of them there, I took some of the excess, kind of the thicker, harder part of the lettuce out. But raw collard greens makes a good bun. I'll have to check into that. I don't know if we've had much for collard greens or had them at all. So um let's see. And Janet says that the collards make a great hummus wrap as well. We're gonna have to buy some collards, Carrie says. Yes. Um, and then let's see. Janet here says that they like the raw instead of the heated. Some say they need to be steamed for a few seconds. Did you say steamed and I said stemmed earlier? No, okay. The white stem. Okay. Um, yeah, we'll have to check that out. Everybody's recommending collard greens. Anthony must be a big fan of collard greens too. So just not a common thing up here, or it's not something that we see stemmed and steamed. I see. So fresh and firm, not wilted. I see. Um, what was I talking about? Talking about Carrie making it 2 years on this diet, traveling on the diet, eating out on the diet. It all is it all does become a little bit more difficult, but over time, it we've developed different processes. The reason why it was difficult when we started is because we had different habits. We had different ways that we would do things. It would be, I made the comment to the people that we were talking to about the travel. Before, when we would travel out of town, we would have stopped at the gas station on the way out of town. This time, on the way out of town, instead of stopping at the gas station, we stopped at the grocery store across the street, picked up a bag of oranges, picked up food that we could actually eat and enjoy on the trip down there and not be starving the whole way. So it's been it's not an immediate thing. It's not like you're going to switch to this diet and you're going to know how to go to restaurants and you're going to know how to travel and you're going to know how to feed your family and you're going to know how to feed yourself. None of that stuff is assumed when you start eating this way. You have to learn and you have to get better at it. And the food that we're eating now is far better than the food that we ate when we first started this, because we know more things that we enjoy that fit the diet plan. We have a better idea how to cook the foods and the processes, the ways to cook them to make them taste best for us. It's not a quick thing. It takes a lot of time to figure it out, but it's worth the effort to do. So much or so many times I feel like, I've given up quickly or quicker than I should have and not given it a shot. But this diet really was worth the effort. And, there will be days that you're staring at your pantry and you're like, I don't know how to make anything, or I don't know what to make because it's different than I've ever made before. But making it through that time is worth it. And we're still very new to this. We're still just figuring it out. Carrie's at 2 years. I'm at 2 years and 1 month of not eating, and I've actually eaten this way for a shorter period of time than Carrie, because I was fasting December 1st, 2020. I didn't really start eating this way until December 12th of 2020 after I broke my fast. But we still have a lot to learn, but I'm real happy about everything that we have that we've learned so far. Trying to think, I had it in my head, another thing I was going to talk about, and then it I must have missed something here. Carrie File, when are you going to come out and tell us your journey? And then Carrie says, I am the one that you want to listen to because she has been at the same weight for probably a year, with a frowny face. But what I got to say is that there's not really been any point at your life that you've been at the same weight for a year, and especially at a lower weight than you were the year before. And so it is a great success to be at a point where you've maintained your weight. And I know it's tough because our goal has been to lose weight, but it's a long process. Like my challenge to lose 300 pounds is 3 years. Your challenge to lose what you need to lose might need to be 5 years or 7 years. I do believe that there's some science between of the difference between how men and women lose weight, and I believe that accounts for some of the weight loss difference. But Carrie here says that her birthday's coming up in a few weeks, though, and she's trying to be much more strict, not eating any of the chips you pack in the kids' lunches between now and then, and see how you feel or see how things go between now and your birthday, which is great. I'm excited. And Anthony here says that maintain is the ultimate goal. Yes, you want to maintain your weight loss. You don't want be doing the yo-yoing and the going back and forth. I'm going to try to fix the focus on my camera. Maybe if I sit closer to the microphone. And Carrie says she's definitely healthier than she was when she started this. Let's see here. And then Janet says that it's really hard when it's in your house. Yes, I'm very thankful that Carrie is kind of there as a buffer for me between me and the kids' food. Like I'll prepare them food, I'll help make them dinners, or I'll get them things together, but 90% of the time their food is being prepared or touched by Carrie. And I know that while I've prepared their food, I've had moments where I've been like, I got split on my fingers and I've thought to lick it off my finger. Or the thing that would drive me nuts and I'm sure is where a big part of the issue comes in too, is that it's after they've eaten and there's all the extra food that they're not eating and that they're just throwing away. That would be probably more difficult than anything for me. Or it is, what's more difficult is throwing their food away and dealing with, um, preparing a big dish and then them not eating it and then just being like, I can't eat it. Carrie's not eating, we're not eating it. And so it's tough. But Rick here says that if it's in your house, it is in your mouth. Yes, it is very difficult to keep it away. Ralph here says, if I were better looking and 20 years younger, we could be twins. Maybe, Ralph. And then Carrie says, absolutely, we need to make sure we need to start making the kids eat healthier so that it isn't as much of an issue. Yes, and that is the very difficult part about eating this way as a parent and with kids. If anybody has their kids eating a plant-based diet and they're succeeding with it, I'd love to hear, because we have our kids eating a vegan diet. But getting them eating like plant-based, eating our dinners is very difficult to do. And it's, they have such access to foods all over the place, and they're definitely, I see it in my kids. They're definitely willing to not eat a meal because they know they're going to have something better later, or they always have something in their future. And so Janet here says that Xena has to care for her mom and came up with wearing a mask while preparing her food so it doesn't end up in her mouth. That's interesting to have. Yeah, if you wear a mask, then you have to remove the mask to eat the food. So it kind of helps you from, and she says an ingenious way to stop that high density calorie foods from slipping in is if you have to remove something before you eat it, make it a little bit tougher, make staying on your diet a little bit easier than the alternative, right? Do something that makes staying on your diet easier. But I think that I am going to get out of here now. I've had a great day. I'm looking forward to tomorrow. I plan on being live tomorrow. I always plan on being live on Fridays, and then Friday rolls around and we'll see how I'm feeling by the end of the day. But I am going to plan on being live tomorrow. I appreciate all your guys' support throughout this whole process. It has definitely helped me to get to where I am at now. And I really appreciate you guys for all of that help and that support and all those wonderful things. So if you have not subscribed to the channel, get subscribed to my channel. If you've not clicked on the bell icon, click on the bell icon so you can learn when I go live, post new videos. If you haven't thumbs up the video, give the video a thumbs up. Go down in the comment section below, type out your favorite place to eat when you're traveling. How does that sound? Your favorite thing to eat while you're traveling. And if you haven't started your diet yet, get started right now. There's nothing coming up this weekend that's more important than your health and your overall well-being. There's nobody that gets to their goals, looks back and wishes they would have waited. Everybody wishes they would have started sooner. So get started now, guys. I appreciate you all and look forward to talking to you tomorrow.